How old are you?
34. Just turned 34 yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Did you shoot him a text? Did you shoot him a text? I shot him a text.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
commented on your post. So happy
Oh, okay.
birthday.
I did too.
Do you ever get stressed out that like, since you're like 34 and you don't have like someone that you are married to yet? Do you ever get stressed out about
You've
that?
had some close ones though.
I feel like I would be stressed out.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you know, I don't necessarily get stressed out about it. Like I do go like, well, I want to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, my biggest issue I would say over the last 10 years is like my focus had been work. And I wasn't really great at creating the balance in like the rest of my life. And it definitely affected my ability to like really let people in, because there was things that I, you know, as a human would continue to allow to create problems in my life based on like my childhood and like my process of getting through all that stuff and not coming to terms with certain things at the timing I would kind of wish I did. So it would kind of affect relationships and my ability to develop them at like a really strong level. A lot of it for me was like self-sabotage and based on fear and just being afraid of like fully committing because you don't want to be taken advantage of. Or you don't want to end up not being enough.
That. Yeah. Sometimes.
But now I'm just kind of like, I wish I could be like, oh, I have the exact right person and I could have a family, because I do want a family, right? But I also know like I'm not looking to rush anything. I just
you don't want to force it, yeah.
Yeah, you can't force it. You want to find a partner who's ready, a partner who's well suited. So it's just like I'm just kind of, I feel like somewhat behind because my focus for so long was like work, like we were talking earlier. And that's what I was kind of telling you guys, like, you know, not necessarily heed like that it's a bad thing, you got to heed some warning, but like listen when I say it. I mean, it's very important to work, it's very important to grind, it's very important to do all that stuff, but just think of your life as like there's a bunch of different buckets that we got to kind of try to fill up. Let's say like business is one, friendships is another, right? Like life lessons or things that we really want to try to like figure out, relationships, like giving enough energy to these things. And if we don't, like if I'm just like I'm pouring everything into business, these other ones I'm not learning, I'm not growing, I'm not getting better, right? Yeah. So then you'll just kind of continue down the same road of like, if I had some trust issues and some like self-sabotage and some fear 5 years ago, and I never looked at that part of my life, or I like didn't try to do the work because it was someone else's fault, you know, and I wasn't like looking at myself, then I skipped all those years of time to like understand, to grow, to learn, to then be ready for the right one. Yeah. So then when people would show up in my life, because I wasn't fully ready to like receive the love at the level, because I wasn't fully loving myself, because my love was based on, like I said, all these things that I talk about just because like I've experienced them, right? Yeah. For 10 years, it was based on validation from the outside. It was based on like likes and followers and growing and making money and all these things. Like my validation was based on that because that's where my like focus was. And then it's until the last, I'd say like 6 years, have I really been like looking at like, oh wait, I got to focus on this and I got to focus on that. And I obviously have some like deep childhood stuff that like, I'm like just now at this point in my life, really kind of sorting out to be more ready to really allow love in, you know, because I've been more like loving of myself. So it's just like, you know, then the added problem to this is then when you pick people, like picking not necessarily the wrong people, like they're bad people, but you pick people who they're not developed enough at the point where you need to be able to meet each other. You know what I'm saying? So then that's the added tension is like, have I done the work here? And is the person that like, you could really want something with someone, but like, have they done the work there to be ready for us to be here? Yeah. Like we were talking earlier and like be able to lift each other up instead of, I need all these things. You got to do all these things. Otherwise, like this isn't going to work. And then, you know, or vice versa. So do I like stress about it? Kind of like, but at the same time, like you can't, right? It's
like you don't want to force something and then be in something you don't want to.
Yeah. You just got to, the main focus should be like, how much am I learning about myself today? Like what have I learned better than yesterday? Like to make myself better for the rest of today and tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then just keep focusing on that. And then I think eventually the right one will come along. Yeah. You know? That's how it goes, I think.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah.